Perfect. All right, welcome everyone. I'm Summer Bach. It's Thursday, June 11th. This is the Gut Rebuilding live Q&A call. So I have been thinking about a few things that I wanted to share with you all. Been just like thinking and writing about a couple things. And one of them is this concept of what you do with your time, how you focus your time, how you focus your energy, how you focus your attention, and how you focus your time, your energy, and your attention on things when you're healthy versus how you focus your time, energy, and attention on things when you're not being so healthy. So I was thinking about this in terms of just how you eat every day, from a gut rebuilding standpoint. If you are eating sugar and drinking alcohol, drinking caffeine, doing all these other things, how does that affect your attention? So just write down for a moment. I want you to take out a pen and piece of paper, or you can type on your computer. I just want you to brainstorm for a moment. What ways do these things affect your attention? And when I say attention, I mean your ability to focus, your ability to pay attention to somebody, your ability to be creative, your ability to really just communicate and complete tasks, like how you use your attention. Think about how any of the vices that you use, because this is going to be different for different people. This could be, for some of you, we could be just talking about emotional eating, or we could be talking about not exercising. We could be talking about eating too much, getting too full, eating too much heavy foods. I mean, this really applies for those of you who are completely clean eaters as well. You're eating really healthy, good foods, but you're just eating too much or too frequently, or not listening to your body. Maybe you're eating healthy foods and your body is asking for a break, or it's saying, I don't want any of that right now. So when you're doing any of your vices, any of your bad patterns, your behaviors that kind of get you when you're swirling it down in that rabbit hole, how does that affect your attention? I know for myself, I will get kind of hazy, a little bit more brain fog. I will have a harder time connecting outwardly with people because I'm a little bit more self-obsessed, a little more self-focused. It's just harder for me to relax and feel comfortable. I get really scattered. I get overwhelmed really, really easily. It feels like with my conversations and communication with people, it will get, it changes. I get a little bit less direct and put things off a little bit more. So in a way, it's like I'm making everything take a lot longer. I get more inefficient. So these are just subtle things. I mean, seriously, those are very subtle. Nobody even knows that those things are probably happening. I feel less creative. I want to lay down more. I want actually somebody to entertain me more. I'm like looking on my phone more at Facebook, looking more to watch something, want entertainment. Those are all things that happen to my attention when I'm not in as healthy of a place. And then what happens to your energy levels? Let's think about all of these vices that you have and the bad habits and the swirl down the spiraling rabbit hole that you go in. What happens to your energy levels? What does your sleep look like? Write down some of the effects on your energy levels. I would say for myself, I just feel a little bit more groggy. I wake up feeling like I wish I could have slept more and having to kind of peel myself out of bed and get up anyway. I notice that I'll be tired at night, but it's harder for me to go to sleep when I'm not being as healthy. It's like harder to turn off, which is kind of odd. So there's there's like an underlying hyperactivity that's going on. So I don't ever get at rest as deeply, but I'm more superficially tired. And then think about your focus. What happens to your focus and your ability to get stuff done? For me, I get scattered. I start to like wanting to schedule myself more. So I'll be like, okay, I need a schedule because I need to write a to-do list. I get very like analytical. Let's do this to-do list and get stuff done that way. And then I end up getting overwhelmed. And then I get bored because my schedule just feels like really stuck. Versus when I'm feeling really healthy, I really go with the flow. Like things are just so much easier. I'll wake up, I'll do a whole bunch of stuff, and it'll all just feel like it magically got done because I was enjoying being a part of that versus the resistance. So I guess the main word that I would say, like overall for me, and I'd love to hear from your answers too, but for me, the main thing that changes when I'm healthy versus not healthy is there's this underlying resistance to a lot of stuff in my life when I'm feeling unhealthy. I resist everything. It's like there's a part of my brain that's being like, not right now. How about later? What about this? This instead. And it's just like a nonstop resistance to reality. Oh, I have to do the dishes again. Oh my gosh, why is my desk messy again? And it's just resistance. And I've noticed that when I'm healthy, the thing that keeps me feeling awesome and healthy in general is when I want to do the healthy thing, right? You don't want to be resisting being healthy. That's not good for you. It doesn't feel good. So, for example, exercise. Like, it's not good for me to exercise when I don't feel like it. Like, that's just what I've learned about myself. If I do stuff I don't feel like, it pushes against some big rebel in me, and I'll fight back later on. So how do you be in alignment with what you want to do? How do you make it to where what you want to do is the healthy choice, is the right thing for you to do? How do you get it to where that like chocolate cake or that like blueberry donut isn't just screaming at you? How do you get it to where instead, like, the thought of just like eating your healthy food is like no big, you do it, and then your main focus of the day gets to be on the things that are just really important in your life and not spending all day thinking about food? And how do we get our schedules so healthy and working so well for ourselves that we aren't having to obsess about them and think too much? When will I exercise? When am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? When am I going to eat this way? When am I going to go pick up this? And just like constantly thinking about the things that we're not doing. We spend time thinking about things, and it feels like we're making progress when we're thinking about it. But the actual progress happens when you're doing it. The same thing goes for learning. You know, you don't really learn something until you do it. You can go through the entire gut rebuilding program. You haven't actually learned it until you've taken those action steps. You've just heard about it. And I think it's really important that we differentiate knowing, thinking, learning in this mental way versus actually learning, versus doing, versus having the experience. Very, very different things. And I think the other thing that's interesting with all of this is, how do you be honest about your cycles that you have as a human? Like cycles of higher energy, cycles of lower energy. How do you be okay with the fact that you're going to have a week where you just like feel like you want to go do a bunch of good stuff for yourself, but you just don't have the energy to do it? You just don't. How do you be okay with yourself not being productive in whatever ways you deemed are the things that make you healthy? So how do you be okay taking a week to eat incredibly healthy, rest the whole time, and not beat yourself up for not going out and getting the exercise you needed to get? How do you be okay with that? And how do you be gentle enough with yourself to have those times where you just totally fall off of all of it and you're eating those donuts every day and that cake and you're having ice cream and you're doing all the things that you need to do to, like, for most people, it's some sort of emotional protection, emotional ability to deal emotionally with whatever's going on in your life. But through all of these thoughts, the one thing that ties all of this together for me is this concept of what is your bigger motivation? Like, what's the motivation that, like, allows you at that deep level to feel inspired to maybe do a juice cleanse for a day, or to stick with gut rebuilding for the week, to really not eat any of the things on the less list that that mess with you in this way? What is that bigger motivation? And for me, when I was contemplating this over the past week, I realized that my biggest motivation is probably time. Like, the thing that you gain the most from being healthy is time. You, at the end of the year, had more time than the unhealthy person. A lot more time. And I noticed myself during the weeks where I'm not doing the healthy things for myself, I lose life. I lose part of my life. I lose that time, and it's gone forever. And that time was spent with me, kind of feeling bad, lazing around. So part of it's good. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not like this horrible, horrible thing that was happening, but I didn't feel as good as I could have felt. And I made it okay. I let it be okay that for that week or those 2 weeks that I was willing to settle for less. That I was willing to settle for less than what my life is actually worth. And then my life is actually worth feeling really good every day, feeling clear. My life is worth getting the support that I need from the people around me to say, hey, I'm having a really hard time. Can I get some support here? Versus turning to the fridge or going to the grocery store and getting healthy junk food, and like somehow justifying it because it's healthy, but still eating too much and not eating what my body wants and eating in a way that's just not healthy, and feeling the effects of that. And so somehow there's a way in which I'm settling for not being as awesome as I could be, not caring enough about myself, or not believing I deserve quite enough to really reach out to the people around me and be like, I need some support, not food. The answer is not there, So I wanted to share that with you guys, to think it's like, I'd love to hear from you all today on the call. Like, what are some of the things that inspire you? What are some of the things that kind of get you out of your your whole like rabbit hole when you're spiraling downward? I'll say for myself too, because like this is something I really want to share with all of you, is that when I get to the place where I've been like feeling kind of funky for a while, I know how to get out of it. It usually involves like doing like a quick like probiotic power cleanse, like even like 2 or 3 days, maybe longer. It doesn't take much these days to get back to a really good place. It used to take me weeks and months because my body had a lot of healing work to do. It takes less time now, but I know what to do. The hard part is having to sit with myself during those days where I'm doing that juice cleanse and just feel gross. I think that's the hardest part. When I'm in the junk food phase or when I'm eating emotionally, I'm too numb to feel gross. I don't feel it. And that's what's so good about that phase. I don't feel anything. Yay. And then what's so intense about the place where you're like, okay, I'm going to get out of this, is that bridge. There's like the unhealthy island, and then there's healthy island. And there is a bridge. And I swear that bridge is covered in nails. It's covered in coals. It has like lightning all hitting you every time. Like the bridge from the unhealthy island to the healthy island is the most uncomfortable part. And then to get back to unhealthy island, I think it's just a slide. It's like, woo! And you slid back onto unhealthy island over here. But the bridge back to healthy island, it's like you have to feel all, like you're literally having to like feel all the inflammation come out of your body. You're having to feel your metabolism shift from a normal, like healthy fat burning metabolism. When you're healthy, it has to switch from this like sugar burning metabolism. When you're unhealthy, you've been eating a lot of sugar. Now your body is just like on a like low blood sugar, roller coaster. And so then your metabolism is now dependent upon what you eat giving you energy, which means that as you're walking across that bridge, you have to feel really, really tired in certain moments. You have to feel just exhausted in certain moments. And sometimes you might feel exhausted for days as you're getting out of this. And that is what keeps most people from ever getting to healthy island, is they can't get across the bridge because the bridge is so freaking uncomfortable. And I will just say, like for me, somebody who has gone across this bridge and down that slide and back and forth so many times, that bridge is still always the most uncomfortable part. And I dread it more than anything else. Even when I'm in it, I dread it. And the reason I dread it is because I have to then feel all the emotions. I have to feel the crud. I have to feel the crap. I have to feel all the things that I feel that I normally use a food or a bad habit or whatever to kind of suppress that feeling. I have to feel it and just kind of hang out with it for a while. And at what point will I get back over my edge and have to slide back down to unhealthy island because I reached too much? Because I reached my threshold of how bad I can feel, or all these funky things that come up, or that even, it's not even bad. It's like, what about the stress? Stress starts to wear on people. So this all brings me to this thought too about, how we hold our minds, how we keep our minds clear, how we keep our minds focused and positive, how we not beat ourselves up, how we actually stay in a place of feeling not just hopeful, but confident. Like confident that we will get where we want to go. Like, how do you stay confident? How do you feel like a sense of undying confidence that you will get to your goals? You will reach these goals that you have for yourself. So I think there's a couple steps to that. One of those is like changing your goals to where they're actually realistic, so you have nothing to beat yourself up about. Another one is just starting to notice where you actually have succeeded in your life and, pay attention and start building your confidence. Like, give yourself confidence where confidence is due. There's so many times where we really have done the work. We have done amazing stuff, and it's just not good enough for us. And it has to be good enough. We have to start adopting this attitude towards ourselves of like pure love, lots and lots of support, honesty, looking at ourselves in a very honest way, a very real way, not trying to sugarcoat things, but being able to say, realistically, I am not eating as healthy as I should be. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I feel better when I eat this way. And realistically, why am I not all the way there yet? What is it realistically, like what kind of support do I need to walk across that bridge and stay over on healthy island? And part of this, when I talk about time, it really connects here, because when you're on healthy island, I've never called it that before. I love that name. When you're on healthy island, you get up, you eat, things are easy in a way. I mean, life, it's not like, angels are singing all the time and life is totally magical. It's just that you don't spend as much time thinking about taking good care of yourself. You just do it. You spend very little time taking bad care of yourself. And you can just always see that taking care of yourself, yes, it's the better option. And what happens when you're on healthy island is exercise is easy. You're flexible with it. You're like, what am I going to do today? Okay, no problem. Go do it. You just, there's not that resistance. You're not resisting. It feels good. You want to be doing it. Same with food. On Healthy Island, you're like, yeah, I'm actually going to make this salad and eat the salad, even though, I sort of want to go this easy route, maybe because I'm feeling kind of tired or whatever. You know what? I'm going to do it. And then you do it and you feel awesome. Like, it's just not much thought to it. That's the Healthy Island. So what kind of support do you need in your life? And I want you to write this down and brainstorm a little bit here. Because most of us are not getting enough support. We're not reaching out enough. We're not being vulnerable enough. We're not telling enough people what's wrong with us for fear of judgment, for fear of, losing out on the community that we have, for fear of losing love, for fear of losing safety. These are all really big reasons that we don't communicate this. But if you were being vulnerable with yourself right now and with others, what would you tell them? What would be the thing that you would ask for? What would you need? What would you need to be honest about? What's the thing that you would have to ask for people in your life? I mean, maybe your closest person in your life, your partner. What would you have to ask your partner to maybe change about something that they do on a day-to-day basis with you that would just need to change so that you could have the space you needed to get the support to head through that bridge? All right, so I want to hear some of your thoughts. This has really been on my mind for a full week now. Actually, it's been a week and a half. I've been really wanting to talk to you guys about this since right after we got done with our last call. And yeah, I want to know more, and I would love to see you post about this on Facebook as well. What are the things that inspire you to be healthy? What keeps you going every day? I mean, for me, it's a lot about just being able to be active. What inspires me to be healthy is I want to learn how to kayak. I want to learn how to rock climb better. I want to learn how to do all these things. I want to get to the point where I can just be outdoors and having fun with other people and not be thinking about anything about it's kind of like freedom. I desire this, it inspires me to be completely free in my body to kind of do whatever I need to do and not have to be thinking through all these filters of I don't know, is this going to make me sick kind of filters that I've had to spend so many years looking at. That inspires me. It inspires me to think about my business getting more and more successful so that I can reach more and more people doing this work. That inspires me. It inspires me thinking about my niece and being a good role model for her, having a lot of fun with her. And just in general, I'd say having fun, the idea of just having fun inspires me. And then I have all these little tiny goals. I want to write a book. I want to, do all these little tiny everyday things, but a lot of things I never get to. I never make the time to do them. I can't figure out how to get the time to do them. And those are part of this question to me. It's the things that you're holding out for, the things that you want to do. You have to make time for those. And if you can be healthy and take all of your time and energy away from all of the unhealthy stuff, you could actually spend it on the fun, productive stuff. And it really would just be an even trade-off. It would be that simple. So what belief about yourself or your life would you just have to let go of right now in order to get to the place where you wouldn't have to spend as much time in the unhealthy spot? What belief? All right, so I'd love to hear some comments or anything about this. You can just raise your hand if you have any questions or comments, or you want to share any of the things that came up to you, for you while I'm talking about this.